Welcome to Raising Extreme Athletes Uncensored. This is your reality check and home for uncensored, trusted advice and stories from the trailblazers who came before us. Because it takes a strategic village to raise an extreme pro athlete, this is your village. Today, we're going to be talking about envy. Yeah, envy. This could be a killer or it could be the motivator. And we're going to dive deep into envy. I'm Marina, your host, mother of two aspiring rock climbers and wife to an extreme athlete. Let's dive in. Envy. This could either be a killer or a motivator. And let me tell you, your kids are going to have envy one way or another. It could be either that they feel like they started too old and have missed out on so much while watching all these younger athletes that are coming up, and they're envy that they had lost all that time. Or they could be envious of why they're getting injured while another kid is not getting injured all the time, especially if they started a little bit later because of their growing, because of how they're growing. Could be envy all the time. Some kids are envious because some are simply more natural at the sport or just more athletic in general. And that envy could definitely come out, and it could come out really hard and really ugly, right? There could also be envy that they put in their heart and soul, and some kids barely put any time into it and they totally go and win all those competitions, or whatever the reason is. Envy could be a really scary thing, right? It could either motivate your kid and for them to see, you know what, I could do this. Yes, I'm envious in this. And this is also the conversation you're having in the house, because envy and jealousy, they are a little bit different, but they are a little bit similar in the fact that when we find ourselves envious or jealous of something, it's usually because we really want it. It's something that we really want, and it's something that we know that we can get, right? On a subconscious level, it's hard to understand that at that moment. And kids, they never could really understand that because it's just so beyond their comprehension of what's going on. So when we sit and talk to our kids explaining that, hey, why you're envious is because you know that you really want it and you know that you could have it. And for instance, if there is a kid that is just more natural at it, be like, you know what, it's okay. But you just have to make up with it by working extra hard, right? If Tom Brady, if you sat around being envious and jealous and all these other people were being picked in front of him, he would not be Tom Brady, right? If you guys don't know who Tom Brady is, he is one of the most successful, legendary quarterback football players in the world, American football players in the world, but it's his story. I really recommend going and listening to his story. He was the 99th pick out of 100 in the draft year to be chosen. I mean, yes, of course he was envious of all those others, half of them, like natural or whatever. But he put in all his heart and soul into it. But it's about understanding and using that envy to be a benefit rather than literally let you kill yourself. It could become a poison. And I've seen it with my own kids. I've seen their enviness and questioning why he wasn't even here for most of the trainings, and look at him, he's killing it. Why is he just so good at it while I'm putting in all this work? Or why can all my friends do all this and I'm constantly getting injured, my shoulder and my fingers? That's envy talking. So you need to sit down and you need to explain to them, and work around it and just keep them interested, because it can be poison, right? And if the parent isn't saying the things correctly, it could either fuel that poison or it could fuel that motivation. How are you going to be talking to your kid about this topic, right? That's what it boils down to. So at the end of the day, with all this envy, and you're going to see it, even if your kid is that natural who's just killing it, there will always be something that a child is envious. It's a natural human reaction. How are you going to manage it? Are you going to go on the side of the poison and, yeah, oh my God, how could he, blah, blah, blah? Or, hey, you know what? He's doing great. Maybe we could train with that guy, or maybe we could see what they're doing better. Or, how about we put that energy, that envy into training a little bit harder? How are you going to manage the situation? I would love to hear how you guys do manage these kinds of conversations, because that is the most critical part, is how is the conversation handled. Okay. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a review, share it with your friends. And remember, it takes a strategic village to help our kids flourish.